Beth. Thanks for joining me on my Google Meet today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
So tell me a little bit about yourself as a clinician.
So I got my master's in mental health counseling in 2019, and since then I've kind of worked in a variety of settings, mainly with younger kids and up to young adults. And yeah, that's been a really enjoyable part of working so far.
And I know primarily you are using play therapy with your younger kiddos, and you're
Right.
working towards your registered play therapy credential.
Yeah, so I'm getting close to finishing the credentialing process, and that has been so great working with kids using those play therapy techniques.
Yeah. So I know I was doing some little pre-planning, and I asked you to bring some tips for parents, especially when kids are struggling. So what are some good tips for parents when that's happening?
Right, because when I talk with parents a lot, that's usually the first thing they bring up is how do I help my child at home when this is happening? So generally what I like to recommend to parents is the first thing is if you are noticing that your child is struggling, before you even talk to them, making sure that you're in a place where you feel ready to do so, because parents, I think, can relate to having a tough day at work or just things are not going well. And then if they're also trying to help their child who's struggling, it can just turn into a big mess. So I always like to say, make sure that you're feeling okay before you approach your child. And then just kind of using that connection you have with them, like using that warm body language, keeping your tone of voice very even, and just establishing that warmth with your child so they feel safe and ready to explore what it is that they're struggling with. And usually I like to tell parents that, you know so much about your child as far as what their style is. Some kids are very affectionate and they love that hands-on approach from their parents. Some kids really just love that space. They're like, I need a minute before we talk about anything. So just knowing what you know about your child, kind of seeing what you think they're going to respond best to before even really approaching what the problem is that's causing them to struggle, just helping them feel that connection with you. And then after that, once they seem like they are receptive to what you're doing with them, I usually try to help the child focus on like a healthy outlet for just whatever emotion they're feeling. So that could look like a hug, that could look like fidget toys. Some kids really enjoy deep breathing, just really what you feel like they're going to be receptive to. And then the biggest thing I like to tell parents is like those skills take time because, of course, it's hard for kids to learn a whole new thing and even adults too. So just be forgiving with yourself and give yourself some grace and just take like the time to notice those small steps that both you and your child are making is going to be really important too.
Yeah, those are some great tips, Beth. Thank you so much. But I think it is so important that we do give ourselves and our children's grace when we're trying to learn something new, especially when we've been doing things a certain way for a very long time, and all of a sudden now we're trying these new skills out. But those were some great tips. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you.